Wyln TV. We're your local network.
Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight on WYLN News. I'm Gary Perna. We start tonight's broadcast with remembering the over 2,000 men and women that lost their lives 18 years ago today. Here's a look at how our news program started that night with Doug Farley and Allison Leonard.
Welcome to this special edition of 35 Live News. It's a one-hour edition today, Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. I'm Doug Farley.
And I'm Allison Leonard. The news is brought to you in part by the Hazleton Standard-Speaker and the Standard-Speaker Sunday. The world is in shock after terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center in New York and on the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. today.
Today, a crowd of victims' relatives assembled at Ground Zero, where an observance began this morning with a moment of silence as tolling bells at 8:46 a.m., moments when a hijacked plane smashed into the World Trade Center North Tower. This morning, crowds also gathered at the Pentagon and at a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. President Donald Trump spoke at the annual observance at the Pentagon, and Vice President Mike Pence spoke at the third site, the attack at Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Locally tonight, the Hazleton Fire Department will host their annual memorial service at St. Gabriel's Church on Wyoming Street starting at 6 p.m. Everyone is encouraged to attend. Never forget, and we'll have more on September 11th in today's newscast. Members of Rachel's Challenge came back to the Hazleton area to help spread their message of compassion and kindness. WYLN's Julie Stefanovich stopped by the high school where students were involved in a day full of activities.
Dozens of students and faculty at the Hazleton Area High School were joined by community members to take part in Rachel's Challenge. Rachel Joy Scott was the first person who lost her life in a Columbine High School shooting on April 20th, 1999. Over the past 19 years, the program has reached over 20 million people.
We are helping to enhance a culture of kindness and compassion in students and letting them know that they have power to be able to make one small kind act that can make a difference and ripple out over the world, which is what Rachel really wanted to have happen.
Through their many travels, speakers with Rachel's Challenge have seen that when students take responsibility to initiate acts of kindness, it changes the culture at schools, in families, and in daily lives. Students in today's program participated in numerous activities to help heighten their awareness. Community leaders from different organizations were also invited to attend. They, along with the students, learned lessons throughout the day.
I read a little bit about Rachel's Challenge and thought this would be a great fit. I'd love to be a part of it. So I accepted. And once again, though, we didn't know what the chain reaction was actually all about. So far, up until this point, it's been very exciting, very engaging, and I can't wait till the end of the day because they promise it's going to change so many of us.
The program has been known to be life-changing to countless individuals on many different levels.
When this is over, I hope they share with their friends and family that they became more empowered to be a person of change, and that they want to encourage the other students, their family members, to be people of change. And it only starts with one small act of kindness. And the biggest lesson is to know that what you're going through, though you think it's large now, as you continue to grow in your life, you'll realize that some of the things were not as big as you thought they were. And in this setting, you found that there were other people who were going through the same thing, and ultimately, you're not alone.
To find out more or connect with the organization, you can visit rachelschallenge.org. In Hazel Township for WYLN News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Other news today, Pennsylvania State Police executed a search warrant at the home of a man who has been missing for the past 15 months. William Morris was last seen at his home at 170 Willow Road in Sugarloaf Township, getting into a dark-colored pickup truck. According to a state police release, besides the residence on Hollow Road, the investigative team will also be at other undisclosed locations in southern Luzerne County area based on information received. Earlier this week, a plea for information was sent out by the man's friend. Now, the man's profile has turned up on a dating website that was discovered later on in that day. We'll have more on this developing story on Wyln's Facebook page and tomorrow's newscast. Butler Township Police have charged a 37-year-old man with burglary. According to police, they were called to a residence on Klingers Road early yesterday morning. A person in the home told police that a man, James Evans Jr., entered through the basement. When those in the home were awakened, he pushed past them to run to a second floor into a bedroom where children were sleeping. He barricaded himself in there, making his way out when police arrived, and they took him into custody. There were no injuries. He's now in the Luzerne County Prison on a stack of charges. A former major with the Tamaqua Salvation Army charged with stealing more than $80,000 from that organization over a 4-year period is now facing arson charges. 43-year-old Sharon Wispel appeared for a preliminary hearing on the theft charges, but prior to that hearing, she was charged in connection with a fire that broke out in May at that building. Tamaqua police charged Wispel, who currently lives in Georgia, with arson, risking a catastrophe, along with reckless endangerment. After the brief arraignment, Judge Bayer added an additional $50,000 unsecured bail for the arson charges on top of her $25,000 unsecured bail for the theft charges. Wispel will be appearing for a preliminary hearing on the arson charges October 1st in Tamaqua. A fire Tuesday afternoon in New Philadelphia is now under investigation. Fire crews were called to the 200 block of Valley Street just before 3. First responders who arrived on location revived that multiple calls that the house was on fire in that area. Crews found flames showing from the 3rd floor in the middle of a row home. 2 cats were rescued from that home by firefighters. The fire was placed under control within 40 minutes. The American Red Cross was called into the scene to aid the displaced victims. The Pennsylvania State Police Fire Marshal was also requested to the scene to help with investigating that fire in New Philadelphia. Coming up on Wyln News, we make stops in Black Creek and in Butler Townships at their supervisors meeting to get the latest on what's going on in those communities. Plus, we are preparing for an important hearing in Whitehaven tomorrow. But first, let's take a look at the 7-day forecast here on Wyln News. Thursday, we're going to see scattered storms, a high of 76. Friday, we're going to see cloudy skies, a high of 65. Saturday, we'll see some showers, a high of 72. We'll be right back.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Bonanza Steakhouse, 574 Susquehanna Boulevard in Hazel Township, has an unbeatable buffet filled with something for everyone. Our menu includes the finest flame-grilled steaks, barbecue ribs, chicken, seafood, or sandwiches. You can add the buffet to any entree for a little more. Bonanza features daily specials. Join us Saturday and Sunday for our breakfast buffet that includes our famous omelet and egg station, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice,
everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazelton, everything to make your house a home.
case of pertussis, which is widely known as whooping cough, is dangerous, and students in the Hanover area school district may be exposed to it. The district sent out a notice to parents and students on Tuesday. The State Department of Health regulations state that any student or staff member who has been diagnosed with whooping cough must remain out of school for a period of 3 weeks from the first start of their symptoms, or for 5 days after taking antibiotics to treat whooping cough. The school district also sent additional warnings to parents who have not had their children immunized for school. Black Creek Township will have to wait until next year for bids on their seal coat project. Wyln's Julia Wiegand has more from yesterday's meeting.
Black Creek Township put out a bid earlier in the year for their seal coat project, making it their second time with no success. Supervisor Dr. Sarah Rohrbaugh said their usual contractor really didn't want to touch it, having so many questions and changes that needed to be made before sending in.
The problem with putting it out next year, some of the roads are getting kind of like close to not being a road that you'd want to seal coat. You know, sometimes they can just get too far gone and it's a waste of money. I did make a condition upon the engineer changing the specs to be what the contractors are looking for, so that way they could, you know, actually bid on it. Because it costs a lot of money to put these things out for bid. We paid our engineer about $1,800 to come up with that bid packet. So, you know, that's a lot of money. We could do a lot of work with that kind of money at such a small municipality.
Since last November, the township has been trying to get a time study done on ambulance coverage toward the Nuremberg-Weston areas of Black Creek.
So I decided about 2 months ago to take it upon myself to do a right-to-know request to Schuylkill County to get time logs. And then by getting the time logs, we can kind of come up with our own time study and see how the response times are. Because currently we have received numerous complaints from the Nuremberg-Weston area that their ambulance response time takes too long. They're covered by Shenandoah. The rest of our township in Black Creek is covered by Sugarloaf. So their main concern is they want to know which one's closer. You know, they just want the closest ambulance coverage.
After putting in a right-to-know request for response times for all of Black Creek Township, Schuylkill County sent everything except those main concern areas. After sending in another right-to-know request, specifically for just the times of those areas, Schuylkill County sent back a 30-day extension on the matter, questioning legality, even though they already sent similar requests for the rest of Black Creek.
Our current recycling company that we use, Solomon Container Services, recently informed us that he cannot continue taking our recyclables away for our previous price, which was $195 a haul and $5 a ton. So going to pay Solomon Container Services the new price that he requested for the next month, and then we're going to look into what it would cost to actually rent a compactor. So hopefully he can come empty the container, we can get it open again so the residents can use it, and see if there's a more affordable option for the township. It's tough, you know, for all the townships to recycle. It's great for the environment, but it's costing the townships quite a bit of money.
Supervisors will meet again come October 8th at 2 p.m. Reporting in Black Creek Township for WYLN News, I'm Julia Wiegand.
LVHN will be building a medical facilities on the mountain that falls under both Butler and Hazel Townships, and an issue arose concerning sewer drainage. Supervisor Frank Pedora said even though some residents live within the township, their drainage falls under the Greater Hazelton Joint Sewer Authority's facility.
EPA is telling DEP to tell the Hazelton Sewer Authority that they have to do a study, which may cost $150,000, to redo the sewer systems to separate the stormwater and the sewage, which could cost tens of millions or 20 million or whatever dollars. In any event, they brought up an issue with us about the hospital, that they were concerned that the lateral line is in Butler Township and Hazel Township. So what we're trying to say is we don't want to have a situation where we have to maintain that sewer system up there. So, you know, in our opinion, this should be a private line that comes all the way out to the area, and then obviously that's maintained by the Hazelton Sewer Authority.
Butler Township got letters from Hazel Township and the Sewer Authority saying it shouldn't be a problem, but last night they came to find out that Hazel Township wants to maintain it all the way up to the easement.
So right now we're okaying this preliminary plan, but land development, that's going to have to be taken up, that this is going to be a private lateral, and then if they want to have an easement with Hazel Township to maintain it, then that's between them and Hazel Township, but not us. We're just trying to save the people in Butler Township the expense of doing that.
Fedora is hoping to be at a meeting arranged by Congressman Dan Muser on Monday to hear the EPA regarding stormwater. The Borough of West Hazelton will be applying for state grants to make a roadway improvement in the Valmont Industrial Park. Council voted yesterday to apply for a $2,465,000 grant for improvements on Rotary Drive. The 2,000-foot roadway is over 5 decades old and is in need of renovations. The grant would allow the road to be rebuilt, have curbing installed, and include drainage improvements. Council approved a resolution that will allow the borough to request a waiver for providing matching funds. Tomorrow is the day that state officials will be holding a hearing in Whitehaven about their decision to close the Whitehaven Center. It was on August 14th when the state announced that the Whitehaven Center would close along with another facility in western Pennsylvania. Since then, the families of the 112 residents have been on an emotional roller coaster trying to figure out what's next. Family, friends, and workers can express their views about the Whitehaven Center during a meeting organized by the State Department of Human Services tomorrow, 5 p.m. at St. Patrick's Church at 411 Allegheny Street in Whitehaven. The families will have a choice of whether to move to another state center, a community or group home, or a nursing home. We are told that no one at the hearing will be answering questions from the residents and those speaking out. Coming up on Hazelton's News Choice, we continue our look back in honor of September 11th with a trip to Shanksville. Stay with us.
Stop in at Two Italian Guys Pizzeria for the best pizza in town, serving a large variety of pizza, stromboli, and so much more. Open till 3 a.m. Take out or eat in. Delivery available. Call 570-459-2783.
Get ready for the 164th Bloomsburg Fair, September 20th through the 28th. The action starts Friday, September 20th with Preview Day and harness racing. Then more harness racing, full pull production, tractor and truck pull, and the first full day of fair action Saturday, September 21st. The fun continues all week with nightly entertainment on the Weiss Market Grandstand and rides and carnival attractions from Amusements of America. Plus modified truck, SUV, minivan, and figure eight racing Wednesday, September 25th. Horse pulling on Friday, September 27th. And the famous Demolition Derby Saturday, September 28th. Enjoy livestock, agriculture, horticulture, rabbits, poultry, arts, crafts, and more every day. And free entertainment throughout the fairgrounds all week long. Buy all-day ride passes, concert tickets, fair admission, and for a limited time, your weekly badges for just $35 at BloomsburgFair.com or call 570-387-4145. The 164th Bloomsburg Fair, September 20th through the 28th in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Visit BloomsburgFair.com today.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill, Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazelton. We have 2016 Sierra Crew Cabs. We have got 2019 Colorados under 28 grand. We've got over 1,800 used vehicles in stock. Check them out online at blazealexander.com. We're taking the deals the other guys won't.
On the 10th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, then WYLN news reporter Ann Gownley traveled to Shanksville, Pennsylvania to talk to those that were left behind to carry on. Here is her look back at that story from September 11th, 2012, on the 11th anniversary.
On September 11th, 2001, lives were lost in New York City, Washington, D.C., and in Pennsylvania. United Flight 93 took off from Newark International Airport in New Jersey, bound for San Francisco, California, carrying 40 passengers and crew members. Hijacked by 4 al-Qaeda terrorists just 46 minutes after takeoff, it crash-landed in a field in Somerset County. Last year marked the 10th anniversary since the terror attacks on America, and we were there in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where we spoke with 2 mothers who each lost a child, now 11 years ago, and they share with us their stories.
The phone rang. My sister-in-law Kathy picked it up and heard Mark say, "This is Mark. I just want to tell you that I love you in case I don't see you again." And Kathy said, "Well, we love you too, Mark. Let me get your mom." And she saw me and said, "I come talk to Mark. He's been hijacked." And I heard Mark's voice. He said, "Mom, this is Mark Bingham." He was trying to be very buttoned down. He didn't want to tell me that he'd just seen 4 people knifed to death before his eyes. And he didn't want to tell me that he and a little group of guys in the back of that doomed 757 were planning to make a charge. All he wanted to tell us was that he loved us, and that was his message, and that was so typical of him. And I clung to it and tried to keep him on the phone, but there were 26 other people on board trying to call out, and so the GTE air phone system was pretty swamped, and the call was dropped, and clung for any information. No, turned on the television, and we heard then that Mark's situation was part of a much larger and uglier mosaic. We heard then about the World Trade Center being attacked and the Pentagon, and then the news came in that the flight that had the number that Mark had mentioned to us had gone down in an empty field in Pennsylvania. And I knew right away that the reason that that flight didn't hit its target was that a little group of guys in the back of this airplane got together, decided they weren't going to take it, decided they would use their competitive athletic ability and die fighting, and they did. And they saved a lot of lives and saved the Capitol building, the Capitol Dome for America, and that does me a lot of good.
Were you surprised that Mark was one of the men that, tried to charge the cockpit?
Well, I was not surprised. In fact, I would have been surprised if it had not happened that way. And as soon as I realized that Flight 93 was the only one of the 4 hijacked airplanes that didn't reach its terrorist target, I knew why. I knew why, and I knew how it had happened, because I've stood on the sidelines at many a rugby game and seen those guys in action.
My daughter, Nicole, she was, we live in California, San Jose, California, and an ex-friend of her called her out to New Jersey a couple days after he already left, and so she decided to go out on the last minute. So she flew out, was there for 5 days, was due to fly home on Monday night. And I got a call from her stating that they might be canceling her flight. She was on the runway, but they weren't able to take off because the rain had come and there was fires at the airport, so there was a big backup. So I told her, well, if you can't fly out tonight, you can either fly out tonight or tomorrow. It's probably safer for you to fly out in the morning. So as the evening, the later part of the evening went on, she called me and told me that they rebooked her to United Flight 93, and she was so happy because it was a straight-through flight. So she ended up supposed to be flying out that morning, Tuesday morning. And I woke up that morning with the alarm clock. I was getting ready to go to work to wake me up and saying that a plane had hit the towers. So that's how the day begun, and probably within about an hour after being on the phone with my oldest daughter and with my son and trying to figure out all the different planes and the numbers of what had crashed, we found out through watching TV that it was United Flight 93 was the 4th plane that went down in Pennsylvania. She had a wonderful laugh, didn't she? She would just tilt her head back and have this big laugh. But it was funny because when this was going on today, I looked at my husband and I said, this would be Nicole. She always told me she wanted to be known. She goes, Mom, boot camp was really popular on TV at that time, where you had to really force yourself. And she tells me, Mom, she goes, I want to get on TV and get on boot camp, and I want people to know who I am, and I want to do this and I want to do that. So I was telling my husband, I said, you know what? Little does she know, she's known as far as September 11th, and she's going to go down in history, and she's known for a big day that everybody is a part of.
And we'll be right back here on WYLN News.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown the Hometown Village Square. The Falvello Law Firm, located at 641 Route 93 in Sugarloaf, offers help with car and truck accidents, wills, powers of attorney, and estates. With a small team of attorneys, they work directly with each and every client, serving all of northeastern Pennsylvania. They are proud to offer legal services that make a real difference to you. Call them at 570-788-4191. For 4 generations, All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram has been treating their customers like family. Stop in to get the lowest financing options and best service around. Whether you're in need of a Ram pickup or have an active family lifestyle or simply want to show off your fun, adventurous side, All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram of Tamaqua has a wide variety of inventory to choose from. Stop in for the 10 Days to Deal event.
Yesterday evening, Can-Do Board of Directors announced that a 19-year veteran of Can-Do will succeed Kevin O'Donnell as the head of the organization. Joseph Latier will become only the third paid CEO of Can-Do since its founding in 1956. O'Donnell announced previously that he will retire at the end of 2020. The board voted unanimously to recommend Latier based on his knowledge on all aspects of the organization and his local ties. Congratulations to Joe for being named CEO of Can-Do. That's our newscast tonight. Thanks for being with us. Remember, you can get news updates on the Wyln News Facebook page, and stay with us. A look at today's weather is next here on Wyln TV.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim system